You are tuned in to the Coach V Show, bringing you the expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we become the best we can be. Now here's your host, Coach Viliami Tuivai, Coach V.
Welcome to the Coach V Show, your station for personal and professional development with expert insights and interviews to help you, me, and we become the best we can be. Where iron sharpens iron, together we rise. On Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives. I am your host, Viliami Tuivai. They call me Coach V. And today we're talking the power of love. A Valentine's message for every day of the year. And let us start with a Coach V quote. Love is a noun that works better as a verb. For without action, love is just a word. Definition of love: strong affection for another, arising out of kinship or personal ties. Family. One of the first experiences of love the majority of us first have. Love, definition number 2. Attraction based on sexual desire, affection, and tenderness felt by lovers. Number 3, affection based of admiration, benevolence, and benevolence is the quality of being well-meaning, kindness, or common interest. So this is the love that most fans have, according to what I think. Number 4, an assurance. Number 4, an assurance of affection. Give someone your love. And number 5, warm attachment, enthusiasm. We're defining love here, or devotion. And to me, this is the love of hobbies or hashtag foodie. Or for me and my family, we love cruising. And now my hobby of snowboarding, golf. You don't have to be good at it to love it or have this type of affection and feeling towards it, because I'm not that good at golf, but I still love playing and being out there. So just as there's words that describe and define a word, here are some more words that are synonyms. And a synonym is a word or phrase that means exactly or nearly the same as another word or phrase in the same language. Here are some synonyms for the word love: affection, appreciation, devotion, emotion, fondness, friendship, infatuation, love, lust, passion, respect, taste, tenderness, yearning. So we're talking about love. And these are the synonyms: devotedness, enchantment, enjoyment, fervor, fidelity, flame, hankering, idolatry, inclination, involvement, like. And I've added to these synonyms a few more words, very similar to love: serve, add value, and accept. Now, antonyms are words opposite in the meaning to another. Here are some antonyms for the word love: animosity, dislike, enmity, hate, hatred, ill will, indifference, neglect, apathy, coolness, disloyalty, misery, sorrow, treachery, unhappiness. Here's some more antonyms for the word love that I added as well: prejudice, steals value and rejects. So I have been very fortunate and blessed to experience every characteristic of love. Truly a blessing. Strong affection from family and friends. Check. From the love of my parents showed to me, the love so many relatives and friends have shown me has been absolutely amazing. The romance, love, and lust that I've had with the woman of my dreams, my wife. Check. This has existed and thrived and even re-energized over 20 years of our courtship, and this July will be 12 years of marriage since 7/7/07, July 7th, 2007. The love that I've had with my sports teams, check. That has given me the thrills of my life and also has crushed me time and time again. Yet I stay devoted. The love and passion of my gift, check. Helping others through service, my nonprofit, Invictus Youth Foundation, and bringing value to thousands that I have spoken in front of live as a keynote speaker has brought so much joy, happiness, and fulfillment into my life. And most important, now this is a love that I thought I knew what it was until it is we had children. This other layer of love, this higher level of awareness of feeling and emotion and gratitude and care and concern as this love. And most important is the greatest responsibility in this thing called love I have to steward our 2 children with my wife, to assist them in finding their gift and purpose and being a model and example of what love is to them. Yes, in these relationships, in every phase, there is a thin line between love and hate. But I do believe the true love, and that true love that hasn't been taken advantage of or abused, will cross the thin line of hate, animosity, dislike, enmity, ill will, indifference, neglect, apathy, coldness, disloyalty, misery, sorrow, treachery, prejudice, the stealing and the thief of value, and rejection. When you have love, it will get back on track and turn back into love in due time. I want success and achievement, and I believe that you would too, and you do too. And I want to win. I want those, but I also want to love and be loved. Here's a love poem that I've authored for Valentine's Day. Love is powerful because it will kneel. Love is powerful because it will heal. Love is powerful because it forgives. Love is powerful because it will give. Love is powerful because it will trust. Love is powerful because it will lust. Love is powerful because it is kind. Love is powerful because it is mine. Love is powerful in indifference and hate. Love is powerful in every season and date. Love is powerful in every measure and form. Love is powerful in sunshine and in storm. Love is powerful when given away. Love is powerful yesterday and today. Love is a noun that works better as a verb, for without action, love is just a word. Love is the consistency of action, of both the small and big actions that show and reflect love. It is the intensity of emotion and affection, of action, but it needs consistency in my mind to be love. For love will listen. Love will stop and make time. Love will help. Love will do what it says it was going to do. Love will sacrifice big and small over the long haul, long term, and long vastness of time, geography, and lack of prosperity and popularity. Love is there when you call their name. Love is ready when you begin to rock steady. Steady rocking all night long. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not vain. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. That is my thoughts on love. Initially here for the second show on this aspect of the power of love, a Valentine's message for every day of the year, setting the stage and the rest of the show with this segment on these are some basic fundamental thoughts about what I think about when I hear the word love. And love is powerful, right? Love is powerful. Love is powerful. And we will be going over this entire show. 3 segments left on the power of love. A Valentine's message for every day of the year. Because there is a thin line between love and hate. There is a thin line between affection and animosity, between appreciation and dislike, between devotion and hatred, and between emotion and ill will. A thin line between friendship and indifference, between infatuation and neglect. There's a thin line between lust and apathy, a thin line between passion and disloyalty, a thin line between respect and treachery. There's a thin line between serving and prejudice. We're talking love. The power of love, a Valentine's Day message for every day of the year. We'll be right back after this brief break, talking about self-love, meaning love thyself. If they don't love you, time to cut them out of your life. We're talking the power of love, a Valentine's Day message for every day of the year. You're listening to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Just got paid this morning. We gonna kick back tonight. Rockers on the block till the morning light. Kick back, enjoy the moment. Leave your troubles at the door. It's a friends and family affair. Everybody's here, loving all the stories that we share. Shaking our stress away on the dance floor. Summer breeze blowing, rain gonna come, but the way that we're vibing, cares for the fun, bills overflowing when payday come. Landlord keeps knocking, nobody home. If you're single, start a romance. Pick it up with the slow dance. Sometimes you only get one chance, so don't let it pass. Kick back, enjoy the moment. Ooh, yeah. We only got one life to live, so we owe it to ourselves to make every little second count. Whoa. got one heart to give. Can't fill it up with sadness and stress. Sometimes you know you got to kick back, enjoy the moment, leave your troubles at the door. It's a friendship
You are now tuned in to the Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. Just finished the first segment of the show on the power of love, a Valentine's message for every day of the year. As we were talking about definitions of love in the first segment, we are now talking about love yourself. And I love this subject now, because people that know me and are around me know that I do everything it is that I do. Family, faith, relationships, business, community, through this spectrum of relationships. And if it's about relationships, then it's about love, care, nurturing, making people feel good about themselves and the value it is that these different forms of love that we just defined in the first segment, and now talking and specifically focusing on loving yourself. I'll start with this word, ofa. O-F-A. In the Tongan language, these three letters represent the English word love. May you, me, and we make choices that invite in joy to our lives. Choices that do not create discord or disharmony, but peace. Choices that allow us every opportunity to enjoy happiness with the important people in our lives. We're talking ofa. O-F-A. That means love in my native tongue, in my native language of Tongan. Choices that will access fulfillment from our daily activities. And lastly, choices that invite us to love and be loved. And most important, that we love ourselves. Ofa. O-F-A. What happens to us in life happens to us all. What differentiates those that move from that point forward is how we respond. That response is what's within us. Love. That's the power of love. That you love yourself. In that specifically self-love, and that you love yourself. This is your strength, that you love, respect, know, and understand your value, because it is going to take all of you and that love to meet the challenges of life. And know there is no bigger or harder thing in this life that will smash us, break us, and demand from us like life. But life has placed something within us that will allow us every opportunity to leave everything that is shattered behind us and move forward to a better tomorrow than we've ever experienced in the past. This is a choice that we make to be inspired and keep going in spite of and despite all the negative in your life, in my life, in our lives. Learn from it, grow from it, and be stronger because of all the struggle, hardships, betrayal, and crisis. There is no way you can survive, let alone thrive, if you don't love yourself. The act of loving yourself and respecting the gift life afforded to you by our Creator demands that you cut out any cancers to your dreams, hopes, and aspirations, as well as your joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. It doesn't fit into those buckets. If it doesn't fit, cut it out of your life. If you don't cut out those life aspects, it will be a cancer and eat away at the good in your life, stealing from you what you should have to add value to your life. Beginning first and foremost within you, the self-doubt, fear of the things that you need to do or need to be done, fear of the unknown, and fear of failure. Cut out those people that are purposely throwing mud in your face, jealous and envious of what you're about and the rise and climb of your grind. Don't be desperate to have people in your life that you continue to allow that type of mental or emotional abuse in your life. The right people you will attract into your life once you cut those people out of your life. We are afraid and scared that we will be alone. And please don't mistake this as me wanting that for you, me, or we, or anyone else. Because if that's your current situation, no, the right people will be attracted into your life when you make room for them, but not before. Now, this is grown folk talk. It's not for the immature. Stop accepting invitations from these negative, disrespectful, and backstabbing people. It doesn't matter if they're family. If you work with them, be professional and do your job and interact as you need to, but do as I do and keep your distance off the clock. And you don't have to make declarations and draw lines with your family, friends, or co-workers. Just steer clear. Keep it respectful. Let them think you have no issues with them, which will allow you to love you. One of my best attributes is that I know your stance on me, and you'll not know that I hate your guts. Because it is not your business what my personal opinion or thoughts are on your negative, hating, rumor spreading, dark, dysfunctional, and opinionated self, because that would steal from my joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love. It doesn't matter if I grew up with them. It doesn't matter if we were tight friends. It doesn't matter if they're family. Life has enough struggle, drama, and hardship to choose to allow anything negative to dwell or linger in your life, my life, or our lives. You should, as often as possible, smile, laugh, have joy, peace, happiness, fulfillment, and love in your life. And you deserve to have people in and around your life that allow you every chance to experience that. Because we are who we roll with. We assimilate to whom we associate. And we become who we are around. If you allow people that don't love you to stay in your life, you'll never allow yourself to love yourself. Now, this is a hard thing, and that's why I started it off by saying this is some grown folk talk. And do not be desperate for people it is that have no care or love and only wish you ill will, negativity, and drama. Because when you cut them out of your life, you now Allow yourself the capacity to now have the people that really love you, respect you, and want to help you. But you must first help yourself by loving and respecting yourself enough to let them go and actually cut them out of your life. Now, when you cut these people out of your life, it is not like my little kids who, are 9 and 7, and my 7-year-old, just got done using these scissors that don't even, it won't cut you. They're like kindergartner scissors. No, this is like a scalpel when you cut these people that have been a part of your life for so long, like a cancer, like a disease that is part of your flesh, part of your soul, your psyche. And to cut these people out of your life, it's going to hurt. You will bleed everywhere profusely, and you will need time to heal. Despite the fact that they're negative and they brought no value, and they were backstabbing, always talking negative about you. And that's just how this process called life works in love relationships, especially if you cared for them and they didn't really care about you, but you thought that they brought value because they were family. They've been your friend. Well, you rolled together for so long, but now for you to love you, you must cut them out of your life. You can. You must. You will. Then you'll be all that you're called to achieve. But if you don't love yourself, you won't believe that. You'll allow these people to infect your life. If you do love yourself and respect the gift of life that you've been given, you'll respond in this. Loyalty has an expiration date, and people that are negative have punched their own ticket. Cut them out. Ofa. 3 letters that represent the English word love. May you, me, and we make choices that invite in joy. Choices that do not create discord or disharmony, but peace. Choices that allow us every opportunity to enjoy happiness with the important people in our lives. Choices that will access fulfillment from our daily activities. And lastly, that invite us to love and be loved. And most important, that we love ourselves. Ofa. The message for today. The power of love, a Valentine's message for every day of the year. We're talking love. And we'll be right back after this brief break. And we'll be talking the science of love. You're listening to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Together, we rise. On the Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Trying to hold myself right now. I know you've been watching a long time. Sometimes my heart feels like
the start to the end. I never find a woman like you ever again, girl. Love is for real, I know it's not pretend. I want you with me to the end. You could be my wife, we could build a life. We could come together, make the wrong things right. Please open your eyes, we could win the prize. Naturally loving you Hawaiian style, Hawaiian girl. It's only natural for me to feel this way about you. You're the world's most beautiful girl. It's only natural for me to be so protective about you. Oh, my sweet Hawaiian girl. It's only natural for me.
Coach Viliami Tuivai. Coach V. Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio as we talk this Motivation Monday about the power of love. And in this segment, the science of love. Per my study, and this was a rigorous one, but one that has absolutely increased my knowledge on relationships and love and how love affects our everyday well-being, our psyche, and definitely all of the health that makes up our mind, body, and soul. Dr. John Gottman is world-renowned for his work on marital stability and divorce prediction. Dr. Gottman has conducted 40 years of breakthrough research with thousands of couples. He is one of the top 10 most influential therapists out there and is a best-selling author. All right, these down. Now, it's Dr. John, John Gottman, Gottman. And these are some of his 4 books that I would recommend. The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, What Makes Love Last, The Relationship Cure, and Why Marriages Succeed or Fail. He's been on Oprah and many TV talk shows talking about love. So this is the science of love, and what is the measurable, the tangible things that we can tangibly measure, that we can now take those measurements that somebody like Dr. John Gottman has done in his field of study of love and relationships, great marriages that end up and they result in divorces. And how can we take those measurables and apply it all over our love relationships, our romantic relationships, and also our marriages, so we can have every opportunity and raise the probability to succeed. And here's some of those stats. In 2017, over 900,000 marriages ended in divorce. So if the Rose Bowl holds around 100,000 people, I mean, it's 9 of those a year. That's a lot of folks now. And of those 900 plus thousand divorces in 2017, 9% or less ever got help or talked to someone about the issues of their marriage. Now, Dr. John Gottman is all about this study of social epidemiology, which focuses on the social structural factors and its effects on states of health. Love, as we discussed in the beginning of the show, in relationship equates to, in this study, what it's showing is that in the study of love, that this is its effects on our health. So great relationships and love relationships increase and better us to having greater wealth, greater health, greater resilience, faster recovery from illness, greater longevity in terms of living longer and having a longer lifespan, and more successful children. So then the question is that he posed, and I was really interested in, is can science help us with love? Over 40,000 couples he's tested, followed them for over 20 years, relationships of every kind, gender, age, etc. Over 90% success rate in predictions in if a relationship would work or end in divorce. So that was the focus. So what are the parameters and what are the factors that allowed love relationships, romantic relationships, to now work? over 40,000 couples, and then over 20 years. And what I was interested in was loving, meaning amazing relationships. Can it be produced? And then if it can be produced, which his studies show can, if you do these things, this is how your relationship works out and or does not work out. And how can it be replicated? Well, what are the predictors in science? Through his study that I've studied is what is the predictor or the things that you can do so that you can increase the probability for success in your marriage or relationship. Well, being a football guy, in football, there are predictors or specifics that forecast and increase the probability for success or failure, wins or losses, and or championships, Super Bowls, or college championships or BCS championships. And amongst these are turnovers, penalties in professional football, both on offense, defense, and special teams, right? Third down efficiency, red zone efficiency, and starting field position, etc. So those are the parameters that if you do very well in at least those things, you will definitely increase the probability for success for you winning a football game, being consistent in winning, and then winning championships. So to me, a marriage is a championship. When you get into a marriage, you're playing to win and you want to win in championships. And these are some of his findings for what he called high risk or low risk for divorce. For low risk couples, meaning they probably wouldn't divorce, over 90%, right? They had positive and negative emotions, both positive and negative. They deal with positive and negative. And everyone who has a great relationship understands that. Right? That you go through both positive and negative emotions, feelings, situations, and circumstances. But the high risk that it would end in divorce, these marriages and relationships, they just had negative emotions all along the relationship timeline and throughout the entire part of their interaction and their relationship. Now, loving couples or couples that converse positively, when they're in this situation now that's now called conflict discussion, is what he called it. That when they could converse positively in the startup within the first 3 minutes and can go back. So loving couples that did not have a high rate of divorce could now go into that conversation being neutral or positive and then come up with a solution and then now get back to being positive. But those that were negative within the first 3 minutes, they could not exit the negativity, the sadness, the crises, the drama, etc. Which he called these people that couldn't, in the first 3 minutes, in these conflict discussions, that couldn't exit and get back on track to being positive or caring about the other person and not being so self-centered about how it is that they've been wronged or what they feel should be done, is that he called it the Roach Hotel model. Because the roaches check in, but they can't check out. Negative emotions, anger, sadness, disappointment, fear, etc. for unhappy couples, once they check into this Roach Motel, they don't check out. See, I agree, and I have seen this in my relationships as well as in professional settings, because we're talking about love relationships, but we're talking relationships in general, right? Especially marriages, no question. And that's what the study was here. But I want to be able to apply it to everything relationship wise. When these conversations start negative, it is what I've always called the point of no return, where the baggage of negativity you will carry everywhere you go with you and weighing you down in relationship everywhere. You take it everywhere. And having multiple negative discussions over time will bring both or one adamantly to the conclusion that they cannot bear the relationship any longer, versus caring about the other in the relationship, that you're willing to be wrong versus arguing who's wrong and speaking what I've always believed is the number one love language. And that love language is the action of compromise, not worrying about who's right versus, hey, I love you, I care about you. You can be right. I don't need to be right. And this was pretty big for Doc and what he thought. Because within the first 3 minutes, if you continue to not be able to come to a solution or conflict resolution in these discussions of conflict, you don't have a chance. And he said, so he also measured this ratio of negative to positive. And we've heard, it takes these many positives when you're teaching a child or going through negativity. You have to have this many positive affirmations. Well, he says for every 0.8, so 0.8 positives to 1, so almost a balance, 0.8 to 1 positive to negative ratio, that those love relationships would not last. I mean, not even come close. That is more about hostility, anger, disappointment, and negativity. They don't last. Now, the ratio, now we're saying ratio again. So that was 0.8 to 1, almost a balance, like almost a 50-50. I thought that, I think that would be a good relationship. Almost a 50-50 negative and positive, but it's just overwhelming in negativity at that 50-50 ratio, or just under 50% to 50% ratio. He said the ratio is 5 to 1, 5 times as much affection, humor, interest in one another, excitement, and connection. That can drastically change the probability to being successful in your relationship, in your marriage, where now if you can change that dynamic within the first 3 minutes of your conflict discussions, not make it being about you, not having to be right. Because if you really love, because we're talking about the power of love, those things won't really matter to you. And so he said that in relationships, when things aren't going well, this is what these relationships that survived did. They thought about, I need to cherish my partner. 1. Number 2, nurturing gratitude for what you have. I'm grateful for my spouse, my partner. Saying, this is my journey and it's rough and we can get through this because I love you in my life. And then saying, I am so lucky to have this person. And really, that's how it worked. 90% of romantic relationships that have those aspects is not a roach motel where you get trapped and you die. That you can do what you got to do and then you can make it forward. So that's some science. Those are some tangibles. You're listening to the Coach V Show. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of my thoughts on love and some of the things it is that I have been through. And we'll be back right after these messages. You're listening to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Together we rise on Island Block Radio, the pulse of the Pacific, where paradise lives.
Till tomorrow, so I'll soak up this rain with my face to the sky, cause I know there's a light at the end of this tunnel. I see you on the other side, yeah. Little patience we can grow, taller than the trees when a storm come along. Put the rain jacket on, dance around just you and me. Oh, there's nothing like your love, there's nothing like your love, girl. Diamonds, no rings, no materials compare to the realness that I feel with you, yeah. There's nothing like your love, there's nothing like your love. Nothing can compare to the realness that I feel, and I feel with you. Ooh, 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 ooh. We can't always make the time in a week for the things we wanna do, oh me and you. Well, it's okay, are you feeling me? Yeah, figure it out, no matter how the seas are. If it's fate, let it be. I'll keep rocking till I bleed. Hope for Father Time to hand you to me. Oh, there's nothing like your love. There's nothing like your love, girl. No diamonds, no rings, no materials compared to
Coach V Show.
Welcome back to the Coach V Show on Island Block Radio. Talking 4 love points that I believe have brought tremendous value to my life and my relationships as a husband, businessman, and the community impact I am a part of, and building championship relationships. Number 1 is compromise. An agreement or a settlement of a dispute, or in making a decision that is reached by each side making concessions. Ability to listen to one another and devise a compromise acceptable to both. This is the number 1 love language that I have experienced. Because I feel when you get to a point where you commit to someone, then it's not about being right or being wrong. It's about doing what's best, and what's best for the family, for the couple, for what it is that's according to all the factors involved. And that if she or your spouse, that it is adamantly important to them, then it's not that important to me. That I compromise, and I will try to have my way if I'm adamant about something. I really do. Between my wife and I feel like we do have a championship marriage. And as passionate a person I am, and I have very strong opinions, and I really don't give a damn what anybody else thinks, that are either my friends, other professionals, people in my field, or my own family. When I know that this is what's best, I'm going to voice that. But then I also understand in this aspect of compromise, something that is very powerful, that has really brought me some respect, and people, they'll roll with me because they understand that I know this, that once it is that I figure out who it is that I am, then it's not about me. And the reason why that I'm in a marriage is because I really feel that together we can be better than we are apart. That my wife brings amazing and tremendous value into my life. So I'll compromise. If I want something and she doesn't want to do that, and she feels like this is a priority, or we should do this first, or we need to be going here instead of this place, I'm all in. That's how easy it is for me. And I haven't always been that. But because she's that for me, my wife, and I hope that you would have the same for you. And that if not, then make some of the changes and add some of these words, these synonyms, these antonyms, then talk about it in a love language where you have these conflict discussions as talked about earlier, and, go in with the right mindset, not all angered and about you, that you're willing to listen, right? And not to respond, but so that you can totally take in the information in terms of what communication is, and then find out what is the best that should be done according to the decision that we can make. And then really she's the same way for me. And then it's like, man, if you're adamant about this, it's all good. I even do the same with the kids. When they were a little bit younger, my kids are 9 and 7 now, and no question, I don't feel like they know everything, but they'll come up and go, no, Dad, I really want to do this. Well, this is what you got to do to get it. And then they do those things, they get it. Because that's how life works. Well, if you don't want to do what I want to do, then you got to do it this way to get what you want. Well, okay, then they've compromised. They put in the actions. They'll do the sacrifice. They'll do whatever is needed. Then I'll compromise. Well, I'm not always wanting to go for 6-piece chicken McNuggets, but I will. And they don't always want to go to in and out where I want to go. And we're talking about compromise. Now, this might be too much compromise because sometimes, because of the fact that we are so willing to compromise and be about the other person, we can't figure out where to eat, right? I don't know if any of you have that problem in your life, but I'm just like, babe, seriously, we can eat anywhere you want because I'll eat wherever right now. We can't make a compromise. Unfortunately, in the city we live and the places it is that we vacation, and that's why we love cruising, is because nobody has to compromise. If we can just all do and be a little bit patient, everybody can have what they want. But that's what compromise is that you don't get particularly specifically what you want. But if you would open your heart, mind, and soul to be and care about for the other person, we're talking about love. We're talking about the power of love, a Valentine's message for every day of the year, not just for Valentine's and in this week of February, but for every single day of the year, that if you would make it not about you, but really love and consideration for the other people in your life. Woo! There's some special things that really happen and that has really I've experienced and has increased my capacity, increased my bandwidth to understand and see more and experience more of what love is. That's number one. Of the 4 love points, that's number 1. Number 2 is communication. And communication is key. Not just in love relationship, but every relationship, your business relationships, community relationships, talking to your siblings and your spouses and figuring out what the love language for your significant other is. What is most valued to them that tells them that you love them, the actions. For love is a noun that works better as a verb. For without action, love is just a word. But then also, some people in their love language, they need to hear it more than others. And if so be it. Do it because you love them. And if you don't, well, then there's going to be a conflict there and you won't be together very long. And as in the first statistic it is that I've talked about in the beginning of the show, or in the third segment of the show, 900,000 plus people a year in divorce. And I'm not in on that. But if you are, I get it. Because I'm not here to tell you what to do, just to give you some general information of my thoughts, my insights, anything it is that I have expertise in, or I will go study it from a very reliable source that it is the authority in the world to bring it to you so that you can better whatever it is you want to with that information. And we're talking about love, relationships, marriages, and significant others. So might as well. And you also must apply it to yourself. And I'm talking to me as I'm looking in the mirror right now as well. Communication is key. Both parties listen to each other and converse like mature adults. And be aware when you're communicating, both in what you say and how you say it. Let me say that again. Not just in what you say. Be aware, be conscious, cognizant, and aware of not just what you say, but how you say it. With what audacity, what attitude, with what love, what affection. How is it that you say it? Especially if their love language is specifically where they need to hear it and said, regardless of what your actions are saying, that they need to hear it. That could be detrimental if you don't understand that and know that about your spouse. That was number 3. Number 4 is together time. So my wife and I go on at least one date where it's a go out to dinner date. Now, we have a pretty mature relationship. So there are times when we go out once a week for a dinner date and have a sitter. Somebody, the kids are with somebody. But we love sofa dates where the kids go down. We don't have to go anywhere. And we order takeout or we just cook at home, put the kids down and just chat. We're men. Here is a magic question. Honey, we're talking about communication and we're talking about together time now. Honey, how was your day? And don't say anything else and just sit there and listen. That's some of the together time it is that has worked great for us. And I'm a talker too. I love to talk about the things that are my dreams, hopes, and aspirations. So I talk about, the stuff that we need to do. And, we gotta address the issues that we may have in our life and priorities. But I love talking the future, where we're going, where we're visiting, what vacation, where we're eating on Friday. My wife used to just laugh, but I'm talking about we'll be eating breakfast. And I love talking about, for lunch, maybe let's go to this place. But that's the kind of conversation that I love. So compromise, communication, together time. And this is number 4 is a big time bonus that's really big, I think. Pray together. Prayer. We pray for one another on our own. We pray for each other in front of each other. We pray as a family. We pray at every meal, whether we are in public, as a family, or in private. And those are some 4 love points that I would love for your consideration. That please hit me up on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, at Coach Viliami Tuivai on LinkedIn. And just holler at me and let me know what some of your thoughts are on that. And as we close, here is the final word, love. Maybe the most amazing and peculiar thing in this life is love. That means you, me, and we have to be good with falling and giving all of ourselves. I'm committed to that ideal and the proposition, though I know that love will only be for a unspecified and unknown amount of time. I will still give. Sacrifice, work, create, forgive, look past, and anything else demanded of me from that love. And I'm committed as if it would last for an eternity. Falling in love, which is crazy. Falling, not walking into or rising into love. To fall, fundamentally, it is tied into the inception of love that is only found in the fall and the risk made in faith. Though having no guarantee or understanding of the thing at all, in that I'm reminded that all of life, leadership, business, and sport, and in relationships, is an act of faith. And this may be our greatest human challenge, to understand that once you know yourself, and to succeed and experience love, we give ourselves and make it about ourselves, and we surrender. And all of the things that love is, it is an act of surrender. Ironic, isn't it? To give ourselves in totality, abandon oneself for something or someone else. You allow that person to do whatever they like and willingly go for a ride, which is against the control that you've only known to that point. Love is not sensible and quite mad. No longer vigilant, where guard and care are thrown out the window, and through that process of letting go and falling in love is when then we understand what love is. Strong affection for others that are family or friends, attraction in romantic relationship, admiration or common interest as a fan, and attachment or devotion to something. Love is a noun that works better as a verb. For without action, love is just a word. Love. It is of great importance for each of us to better ourselves. Not only just to gain advantage to obtaining success, but for the sake of being our best. In doing so, we realize the best of our abilities, and that everything and anything we believe and work for can be achieved. Tune in every Motivation Monday at 7 p.m. to the Coach V Show, where iron sharpens iron. Together, we rise.
Coach Viliami Tuivai. Coach V. Coach V Show.